Welcome to our show, A Gentleman's Take, a video podcast where we offer a more refined and sophisticated view on everything in this journey we call life.
All from the perspective of a gentleman.
I'm your host, J.D. Denbow, and this is my educated co-host,
Mac.
What's up?
What's up, man?
It's a good day, right?
It is.
It's a warm day.
It's much better than it was last week.
Well, here's a quick rundown of what you can expect from today's show. We tackle a variety of subjects and activities and offer our take on them. Or, as they say in the common tongue, sitting around and shooting the shit. Is that about right?
Sounds about right.
Good deal, good deal. Well, we return to pop culture, a very popular segment because everyone loves to talk about it. And pop culture covers a wide variety of topics such as music, movies, television, video games, comic books, board games, food, and social media, and sports. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mac, you got anything for us when it comes to music today?
Well, actually, my wife was giving me a hard time because I said I hadn't listened to anything new the other day. And I've actually been listening to a lot of country music. My son likes country music, specifically a more modern country singer named Luke Combs. He really likes Luke Combs music.
Yeah.
So we've been listening to a lot more country music. The funny thing is, my older son, whenever he was young, I grew up basically saying I like all music except for country music. Like I just didn't like country music as a teenager.
Right.
But my taste kind of changed as I got a little bit older, and I started to like country music a little bit more with the birth of my first son, who loved country music. He liked Luke Bryan and Eric Church. There are a few different people that he liked, but then now my younger son has followed the same footsteps where he likes country music. That's his favorite music. So I've been listening to a lot of the new country artists, which is something that I hadn't heard much of before.
It's always cool, the older you get, when one could change their feelings on things like that. Like music, or country music specifically, was off my list as well. I abhorred it, outside of like a few ones that everyone knew, but I hated it. And there was one summer I was working in the shop, and all the dudes around you are sitting there like, all they're doing is listening to old country. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, please, heaven help me. And I would mock it. I hear songs like my daddy's hands or my father's hands, and all these other ones. And I'm sitting there rolling my eyes. And let me tell you, over the course of that summer, I was jamming with them. I was looking forward to specifically older country. Well, it was relatively old country, but anyway, I fell in love with it myself, and I actually added it to my music repertoire.
Yeah.
And so that was it. I'm kind of proud that country became a thing for me. Now I haven't really embraced new country as much, just because I'm still discovering the old ones, and that's just how I am when it comes to modern things. So yeah, I'm a big country music fan now too, and I just think that's neat. One can change like that.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a friend of mine. He introduced me to something I thought. Speaking of modern trend, it's not modern right now, but he introduced me to something called dubstep. I looked at him like he was the craziest. I'm like, really, you millennial? He played dubstep, but he had such an enthusiasm for it. And he's like, man, just listen to this. Your face is going to melt off. And I'm like, okay. And then the more I'd hear the distinctions between dubstep. And I'm like, oh, dang it. It started getting in my mind, and it stuck with me. So I don't go out of my way to listen to dubstep today, but when I hear it, like Nick was playing it the other day, and I'm just like, oh man, okay, I'm in dubstep mode now. I never get into dubstep mode.
Have you ever tried to beatbox?
I've tried.
I think
I suck.
if you could beatbox, dubstep is a fun one to mimic.
Dubstep in general is fun to imitate anyway, especially
Yeah.
when you start doing like the wah-wahs and everything. But no, I've never tried it myself. Do you have an example of a dubstep beatbox or?
No, I don't think I'm gonna do it. I can crab scratch.
I know you can actually. Give us an example of crab scratching.
Me and my brother Zach, we basically sat in a car in North Carolina. We had like 2 hours to kill, and so we were watching these YouTube videos over like how to make different beats, and the one that we got closest to is the crab scratch. I'll see if I can do it. Hold on.
You've all probably heard this in music before.
I don't know.
I mean, that was pretty good. We've all heard that before. But how would you all feel if Mac were to record that and we were to add it to the opening intro theme?
We might try to get a dubstep intro.
A remix, a dubstep. Oh yeah, but instead of like the jazzy, bluesy intro with the saxophone, we just do a remix and have that crab scratch on there, 90s style.
That would sound great. Absolutely.
What do you all think? Is our intro music good, or should we modify it a little bit, spice it up? Yeah. So this is why I'm like, things I thought I would never like, I'm happy to like them, but I'm more open to listening to it.
I think it's just going into music with an open mind. Like if you're honestly just closed off to different things, like you can't convince somebody that's closed-minded to like classical music. You can't convince them to like jazz. You can't convince them to like country. If they want to like it, they can like it.
Yeah. And to be fair, I'm actually, when it comes to modern music, I am pretty close-minded. If it's trendy and everyone's going on about it, and it happens to be catchy, and it's like the song for the month or two, I probably will end up downloading it, and I like it. But for the most part, I tend to avoid modern music because I don't want to say I'm that person, but I just feel like there's not a lot of good modern music. But I am open to it if something does stand out. I will recognize the good in it.
Well, since you haven't been listening to it a lot lately, I guess that you don't realize that they've redone a lot of the old songs.
Like, on country?
Not country. I'm talking like the pop or hip hop, whatever versions of songs. They've been redoing a lot of songs, and most of them are just bastardized versions of the original.
Oh, you don't approve of them?
Like they're bad.
Sometimes you can pull it off. Sometimes if you're going to go to that well and just bring back some classics and just cover them, it's impressive that, you know, like, I think like Alien Ant Farm did a great job on Smooth Criminal. Yeah, I think they did a killer job on that. And sometimes I like it either when an artist does a cover, even a modern artist, and it's either comparable, like, oh, I just like this version, and it's like a companion to the original, or maybe sometimes they do it better, and that's almost a blasphemous thing to say, but sometimes it's true.
Well, I'm thinking of a Black Eyed Peas song that basically they ripped off Bobby Farron. I can't remember the name of it, but I don't think that they even gave credit to him. But it's like the same basic words and the same basic pattern redone. I'm like, I don't think that that's very good. But then you have like a Bruno Mars who doesn't take somebody's song, but takes like the flavors, like maybe his song Finesse, I'm thinking of, maybe. Might be a different song, but he's got a song Finesse, and it sounds very like Bobby Brown-esque. But it's good. Like it's
Bobby Brown.
It's his own flavor, but you could definitely see in the video and hear in the beat like how he's kind of like hearkening back to the Bobby Brown style music, which is, I'm about that. Like it's okay to like pull off the older music.
Yeah, you talked about that when we were talking about like the jazz big band sound, and you know, if you can go to that and pull it off successfully and add it to the legacy of it, then cool. Don't overdo it. Don't bastardize it, as you would say. But, you know, hey, sometimes they do a good job.
Yeah, your own little flavor or flair to it goes a long way. Like, you don't have to completely rip it off, but you don't have to completely mimic it either. Like, the Smooth Criminal Alien Ant Farm version was basically the same song, only more like rock.
Okay.
You know, so it's like kind of flavored in rock as opposed to Michael Jackson. But they didn't go so far away that it's just like a butchered version. Like
right.
Smashing Pumpkins, I'm pretty sure redid Landslide. And theirs was an interesting take on the original song.
There was obviously a real popular one was 9 Inch Nails' Hurt. And Johnny Cash did his version of Hurt. And his cover was so good that Trent Reznor said, hey, that's his song now, and I thought that was like one heck of a compliment.
Yeah,
and it was because it was completely. Because I remember I finally heard the original because I heard Johnny Cash first, I heard that original and I went, oh man. I mean, I like it, but it was so. It just I didn't know it was that much of a difference from the original. And
Disturbed, I'm pretty sure, just did The Sound of Silence by Simon and Art Garfunkel.
yeah,
I really like the song. Like, I've always liked the song.
it's a good song. Good song.
But I wish that he would have stripped some of it back. Like, it sounds very studio. And I like how, if you watch him sing it live, he can actually sing it pretty well. So I wish that they wouldn't have made it so studio. Like, I really like the sound. Like, it's okay. I guess we live in, like, the auto-tune age. It's okay to, like, when you sing a song, have a little bit of vulnerability. Like, you're right there on the edge. Like, I'm not saying leave in all the crackles of your voice or whatever, but there are certain bands that
Doesn't need to be perfect.
they would do like a guitar solo, and they wanted certain recording pieces to be left in, like notes that they might have messed up or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they wanted that left in because that was authentic. And then there's going to where every aspect of your voice is studio produced, and it's somewhere in the middle. I don't think that you should keep all the bad takes, obviously.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't think that you should studio produce every single aspect of it. A slight vulnerability where you might be just a little bit off every now and then is kind of okay. Especially when you're singing a song that powerful. The way that he sings it.
That's awesome. That's good too. And real quick, I'd like that you also said that if you saw Disturbed in concert, that they sounded pretty good live. So that's good. You know, that's another thing. I did not say that in that take. Is also there's no guarantee it's going to be good. So, but if it was a known thing, like they're good live, awesome live, like AC/DC we've talked about.
Yeah.
Guess I'll go. It's not my favorite thing, but at least I'll know it'll be a good performance. It'll be a good show.
Yeah, I almost, before I go to any more concerts in my life, I think I'm always going to see how they sound live before I go, because I don't want to ruin any more bands for myself.
That's that's good. That's fair. Like, it's like let's say if you have a movie and you have an actor you just go to every time, man, this dude's awesome or she's awesome, and then they go and say something silly that's like in their, whether it's regarding a social issue or a political issue, and it's like if they don't agree with you, then it's just like, oh, or if they're just really off on their take or their assessment, then it's just like, I'll just pretend.
I think I know the actor that you're talking about who you don't like their takes on things.
I know. Yeah, you do. And by the way, I have a few actors like that. But
Does
there's
his
one
name rhyme with Buffalo?
Yep. And yeah, that's that guy that speaks in perpetual whine. Yeah, I don't like him. And he was okay with me, and then he just started opening his mouth on some things. And I'm not saying all of his takes are wrong. It's just his condescending nature. Anyway, we're gonna move on because he's gonna make me go crazy, and I don't want to
make you turn into the Hulk.
Pretty much.
Would you cry as much as he does?
No, I wouldn't. I would have to redeem that role if I were to become the Hulk.
I would never be as sad and upset and crybaby if I was the Hulk. I would just, if something upset me, I'd just smash it. Anyways.
Right, yeah. And I'm like an emotional man-child. Smash. But that being said, rest in peace, JoJo. But yeah, he makes me crazy. I really don't feel like getting crazy today.
He puts me on tilt.
Well, maybe I do want to get crazy today. What do you think?
I'm down.
All right, fire away. What is on today's hypothetical journey?
Okay, your wife is going to love this one. So you and your wife are walking down a beach, right?
Yep.
And you come across a wizard, warlock, witch, whatever you want to imagine in your brain, right? Walking down the beach, and they stop you and they say, I am about to turn your wife into a mermaid. But you have the option of whether I make the top half mermaid or the bottom half mermaid. So you get to pick which half is fish. Which half do you choose, and how do you explain that to your wife who's standing there witnessing you make the choice?
Let's see. And just to clarify from previous episode, is this forever?
Forever.
No. Okay. So she's going to be turned into a mermaid. There's no getting out of it, and
Right.
I have to choose which half of her is going to be the mermaid. Is she going to look like Ariel, or is she going to have the greatest set of legs and backside and just stare at me like this all the time?
Yeah, we're talking belly button down or belly button up is fish.
That's going to be an easy answer for me, honestly. I'm not looking at that the rest of my life when I have a conversation. I'm like, are you hearing me right now?
But in choosing the top half being a woman, I know that you guys intend to have children at one point, right?
Yep.
How are you going to do that with mermaid bottom?
We're gonna go to PetSmart
Jeez.
and we're gonna get some fishy puppies, little guppies, I like to call them, and then we're gonna raise those guppies, and then we're gonna adopt actual children, and man, we'll get the best of both worlds. You know, I'll meet her in the middle. I'm not gonna be like a cast her out. She's my wife. She's my wife, and she'd be a beautiful mermaid. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be that top half is gonna be human because I can engage with her, and and then again, my favorite part of the female form is everything is upper half. That's my favorite. So I win.
That's my favorite.
And I mean, just being honest, if you got a fishy bottom tail, you can make that work. I mean,
I don't think that I could wake up next to like.
right? Yeah. The sleeping alone
hard.
arrangements be terrible.
Can
But,
your wife swim?
Yeah, she's a good swimmer. Strong legs.
Okay, I was gonna say because if not, you might have to make the top half fish so that she could breathe underwater.
Now, what's gonna be weird is like how it sometimes gets cold and like your wife will have her legs on you to warm up. It's gonna be weird having that fin tail.
Oh yeah,
Like
she's
this-
gonna rub it on you. You guys might have to have like a water bed, where like the
A water
bottom
bed.
the bottom half is
Yeah.
like water, so she doesn't like dry out and get all scaly.
Right? Yeah. And you know what? And I'll buy like one of those giant aquariums too and put it in a wagon, and we'll be at the park. We can still do things. Hey, before we move on, did you by chance have an answer to that yourself as far as a mermaid?
I would have to do bottom half mermaid. Like I'm opposite you. I think that I'm more of a lower half guy than an upper half guy. But at the end of the day, like I don't think I could look at fish face. I just couldn't do it. So yeah, my wife would have to turn into a
And
a
could
lower half
they even
mermaid.
talk? I wonder if they could have like a form of their voice. Kiss me. Goodbye.
I mean, people like affection, so they would have to be willing to.
Her arm fin be like.
Would your choice change? Would your choice change?
There we go.
No. All right. I don't want to go into any other weird thing.
So there's not gonna be a real actual upper half Mrs. Mermac.
No, Mrs. Mermac for sure.
Okay. So it should be more like Ariel then.
But
All right.
I do know, because I've had this conversation with somebody before, and I do know that there were people out there that would choose top half fish.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you could guess. I know for a fact, and it was the overwhelming majority.
Do you know why he chose the upper half?
Yeah,
It's in his name because they're a sea creature, and he goes by sea salt a lot of time. So he's just going back to his roots.
he said, "I don't care if I'm looking at a fish. I'm good with it as long as the lower half is right." I was like, "All right, bud.
Hey,
All right."
you do you, bro.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll have him on and we can have him elaborate.
yeah. He's gonna need to explain that one thoroughly.
What if it wasn't exactly like a fish lower half? What if it was like a starfish? Like lower body.
Like Patrick Star,
Right. Yeah, like a
like
starfish
two legs that are
or
starfish.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, why did it have to be limited to more of a traditional fish lower half? What if it was
Would
like
that make it better or worse?
I don't know, but what if she had a jellyfish bottom? With the tentacles and the stingy touch.
Don't get me into that.
The stingy touch.
I know somebody that we got to bring on here that's into anime, and they can explain that whole tentacle stuff because I'm not about that life.
I'll leave the octopus alone then.
That's weird. That's some weird stuff.
Okay. All right. So I relent on that one. I'll give it up. One thing I will not give up on though is a challenge. So bring it on, man. I'm going to issue a gentleman's challenge.
I accept. So for those of you who have watched Tortilla Trivia in the past, this game is similar. but there's a new twist. So instead of tortillas today, we will be using eggs, both hard-boiled and raw. If you get a question wrong, you grab an egg out of the bowl and then you smash it on your head, and hopefully, for your sake, it is not raw. And then whoever collects the most yolk on their face is going to be our loser for today.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily going to be a comeuppance segment separate. It'll be like the tortilla trivia where the comeuppance is instant. So this is going to go hand in hand.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh.
Would you like to pass or play?
I'm going to read to you.
Okay.
What am I? I am a mammal. If I ate cereal, I would put bananas on top. A useful tool is named after me. My tail is as usually long. Love to swing, but not to Benny Goodman. Most scientists think I'm pretty smart. Please don't confuse me with chimps.
Monkey.
Correct.
I am a business tool. I also have recreational uses. I can be a means of communication. I have a screen and sometimes windows. I have been around since the 80s. Some people call me their notebook. I like to play games or watch videos.
Cell phone.
Incorrect.
Really?
Laptop.
But phones
Okay.
have been around since the 80s, though.
So the first one you touch is the one that you smash.
Okay. Damn it. The egg. One, two.
Oh, man.
Oh!
Dang it.
Oh!
Do I get to keep going since you got it wrong? I'm just kidding.
Uh,
Yeah.
hard boiled. Okay. Who am I? I am an actor, director, writer, and producer. I am a fan of the New York Knicks. I marked Denzel Washington with an X. My movies were Mo Better in 1990. I made Wesley Snipes get jungle fever. I have done the right thing.
I feel like this is Spike Lee.
It is Spike Lee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Of the three directors you know, you had Spielberg, Spike Lee.
Yeah. I'm batting 1,000 here. I'm a fictional character. I am a general of an army. I am Venetian. In the beginning, I had a happy home life. My jealousy is my undoing. My tale is considered a tragedy. Shakespeare wrote my story.
Venetian general.
Mm-hmm.
Hamlet.
Othello.
Did not know that. Damn it.
You got it all over me, bro. That wasn't even my punishment.
Sorry, I didn't know how hard to go. Oh, man.
I'm glad I wore yellow.
That sucked.
Oh, man.
That sucked.
That
Dude,
was
don't make me read this one.
Read it.
No.
Read it.
This is bullshit. Where am I? I am in Great Britain, but I'm not very British. You can find me in Wiltshire, England. I'm more than 4,000 years old. I'm a research site and tourist attraction. Some people think aliens built me. I have saracens and blue stones.
Stonehenge?
Yep.
I am an island nation. My official language is French. My currency is the gourd. Christopher Columbus thought I was in India. The U.S. is my biggest trade partner. Since 1800, I have 70 different dictators. I practice voodoo.
Cuba.
It's Haiti, man.
I know. I was thinking Haiti or Jamaica.
You should have keyed in on the French.
I was thinking, yeah. All right. Ow. The fact that I said ow means it's hard boiled. Woo! I'm only down 1, baby. I might have gotten 3 wrong. 3 in a row, by the way. The hard ass. Which Hong Kong action hero was born in San Francisco in 1940 and worked in a relative's restaurant in that city's Chinatown?
Born in 1940, so I'm going to say it's not Jackie Chan. I'm going to go with Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee was correct.
To Kill a Mockingbird, who is the painfully shy recluse who leaves gifts for children and ultimately saves them?
I can't remember his name. I know I can't remember his name. I don't remember that. No. What was the answer?
Boo Radley.
Oh my gosh, dude! Still down by 1. Still down by 1.
This is a joke.
I
can't believe that you keep getting all the hard-boiled ones.
I'm okay with this.
And you're starting to stink real bad.
What famous English civil rights document was signed in 1215?
Civil rights document. In 1215.
That is correct.
Treaty of Versailles.
How did you know that? No, I'm kidding. How did you know you were going to be wrong on that?
Oh, I was going to say that was a shot in the dark. You
The answer was Magna Carta.
Oh, I did know that.
I knew you'd know that.
I did know that. I was just thinking about like the most famous one I could think of.
Don't be an asshole. Oh! Dude, you got that all over me.
How's that feel? Oh, man. Wow.
You look ridiculous.
It's in my mouth. Which Eastern African capital has the same name as its country?
Niger?
Djibouti. It got me again.
I did?
Yes, look.
I can only look at one eye right now. When part of the ocean's floor suddenly shifts in place due to an earthquake, landslide, or volcanic activity, what are the resulting waves called?
Tsunami.
Correct.
What kind of furniture is made from woven reeds?
Wicker.
That's correct.
That's my first one.
Yeah, you were like 6 straight wrong. It's in my eyes.
Mine too.
Oh.
Which Southern Pacific marsupial is smaller than its kangaroo cousins?
I want to say the wallaby.
That is correct.
Oh my gosh, I'm so good at this game. Yes. Which war pitted the Allies against the Axis powers? What?
World War II?
Yeah. No
I got 2 right. What condition causing slow bone growth and bowed legs comes from a lack of vitamin D?
Osteoporosis?
That is incorrect. The answer was rickets. We're tied.
Which with your pile? Yeah, I'm 2 for 2 on this smash thing. What actress starred in Blue Velvet as a mysterious nightclub singer?
No idea.
Isabella Rossellini.
We're still tied.
What in the world?
We can still pull this off.
You've got 6 wrong. I've got 2 wrong. Yet you're sitting on a freaking pile of hard-boiled eggs.
Thank you. Thank you. Name the transportation vehicle found in parts of Asia that is powered by a person.
Taxi.
Is that your final answer?
Bicycle taxi. Bicyclist taxi.
Are you referring to the rickshaw? Oh, no!
I thought that was... Yes. Thank goodness. What cartoon character is not bad, just drawn that way?
I believe it's your girl, Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
What European city hosts the world's largest beer festival every year?
Berlin.
That is incorrect.
What is it?
Munich.
Munich. Oh.
Wow, dude.
So I'm losing, even though I've got half the questions wrong that you've gotten. Got it. In Greek mythology, what must a person cross after death to reach the underworld?
That would be the River Styx.
That would be correct.
What Asian city's name means above the sea and has a well-known waterfront?
Tokyo.
The answer would be Shanghai.
Hey, that's a winner.
Wow.
What portable platform with 3 legs is used by photographers to stabilize their cameras for a shoot? God dang it.
You mean that thing right there?
Yeah.
The thing we're looking at?
Yeah,
Isn't that a tripod?
it is.
Okay.
Wow, this has gotten brutal.
Which state is known as Rough Rider Country?
South Dakota.
North Dakota.
Oh, man, I knew it. Oh.
For the L, my friend.
Even though I still got this wrong.
Ah! Well,
Congratulations
thank you, sir.
on your win.
Thank you. That's I felt like that better man was earned. Even though I was performing pretty poorly on that trivia, I got luck of the draw when it came to the egg, and I'm okay with that. My face feels like breakfast right now. I feel like an egg omelet.
It smells heinous in here.
It smells like a gigantic fart. So that being said, well, let's see if we can cook these eggs up, scramble them up even, as we seg into our hot take. Where we offer our take on something that is contrary to popular opinion, or counterculture, if you will. And as today's better man, I would like to, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go first. I'm going to let that dry and let that egg sit for a while. So my take is, this is something a little outside of your wheelhouse, but I'm going to go on to anime,
Okay.
Japanese anime. And what I mean by specifically on that is, my hot take is American live action adaptations of anime, traditional anime shows. My experience so far is not too bad. And what I mean by that is, I have seen the Cowboy Bebop on Netflix, and I'm one of 20 people that enjoyed it. Cowboy Bebop is not one of the original animes in the 90s, but it was considered to be, it's just one of the ones that helped launch the popularity even more into American culture. And Cowboy Bebop was a fun show about 4 bounty hunters from all walks of life coming together, and they're in a sci-fi setting in space travel. And all of them have their little hidden histories and pasts, and it's really fun. But the best part about it's got to be the music. As a matter of fact, we should talk about this in the music take sometime. You talk about jazz. The legendary composer Yoko Kanno created a wonderful experience. And I'm like, I listen to her. I consider her as a wonderful jazz artist, and she has a fascinating story to tell. But moving back to Cowboy Bebop, it was 26 episodes. And it was fantastic, and it's one of those, you can already tell it has such a fan base. Don't mess with it. You better make sure you make sure you get it right if you're going to do a live adaptation. Okay, so they changed some things up. They changed certain issues and little things to fit a modern audience, as most people like or dislike, but in this case they disliked it. Me, while some changes I did roll my eyes, they changed it up enough to about at the end of the season, they switched up like a person who was supposed to be on your side and you were rooting for. They switched up and had this person go a darker route, and then the person that's supposed to be the bad guy kind of got punked out to that person. And the good guy was betrayed by said person with this new turn, and I don't know. It made it different enough from the source material that I'm like, I actually want to see where they go with this. But people are so offended when you change the source material that, I don't know, they're up in arms about it. It sucked, and I can agree with you on that. Like, what if Lord of the Rings had done that? And sometimes faithful was good. Other times, you don't need to be 100%. And a good example is there was another anime called Death Note. Death Note is the premise is you find this notebook given to you by a demon, and if you write someone's name in the Death Note and how you'd want them to die, it happens. And this guy was trying to make the world a better place by getting rid of people he thought were evil, or he had to save his skin because he's about to get caught. He would just write all kinds of stuff. So it was a pretty neat game of cat and mouse between him and authority figures. And the American Netflix version, we had friends over. We watched it. We said, okay, let's set low expectations for it. And guess what? That was a great time. It kept to the formula mostly, but it never kept to the show. And it was almost cringe. It was like a teen horror movie, and it was hilarious. We had a good time. Now, they made a faithful in Japan, a faithful 100% shot-for-shot live-action recreation. And we were watching that thinking this is going to be obviously better than the American Netflix. Not really. It was just boring. It was more of the same. I'm like, I've seen this. I kept falling asleep. So sometimes it's okay to not be 100% faithful. And sometimes it's okay to embrace change, because that's what we were talking about, making the covers. So, I'm a Death Note and I'm a Cowboy Bebop American Netflix fan. And now, granted, Cowboy Bebop was canceled 2 weeks after the first season dropped because people were so mad about it. They were mad. I get it, too. I get it. But the positives were, like I said, the visuals were great. The casting, I thought, was actually really, really good. And I liked the story twist where it did deviate, completely deviated. And the music. They brought back Yoko Kanno from the 90s, and she hadn't lost a step. Amazing, amazing music. Matter of fact, I own the record and I own the CD, and it's a good time. So that is my take. The anime is great. The show live-action adaptation, it's not better than. It's just a great alternative, a great cover. And most people can't agree with that. But if you could be open to change just a little bit, maybe appreciate what was different about it. Or maybe it just sucks. What was your opinion? Did those that saw it, those that are fans, did anyone like the Cowboy Bebop live action on Netflix? And that's my take, because I figured you're not an anime guy, but
I am not. I haven't dabbled in anime pretty much ever. So my hot take is actually different than any hot take that we've done before. So normally we we do something that differs from the general opinion or consensus on something. Mine is about something that a lot of people do that annoys me. So it's kind of like a hot take over behavior. And I would be lying if I said that I probably have never done this, because I'm sure that everybody is at fault for doing this at some point or another. But giving advice when somebody doesn't want advice is annoying to me. Lately, more than ever, a particular person in my life has been giving advice that I don't want, and I can't be any kinder in trying to let that person understand that I don't want that advice, but they continue to do it. Whether I tell them appreciate the input, but I'm good, or whether I just blatantly ignore the fact that they're talking. The thing is, like, if you give bad advice or somebody doesn't want your advice, or your advice is proven to be poor in the past, at some point you've got to understand that and like take the hint instead of just like forcing your opinion or your feedback down somebody's throat. And it's been cropping up lately with this specific person. Nothing they say interests me, but yet they keep giving me feedback on how I should run my life and how I should do stuff in my life, and that's my hot take.
Is that one of those where, is it okay to be open to new ideas, or is that just something that cannot be fixed?
If your life is in shambles, then you're probably not the best advice giver. Especially if you're speaking from a place that you have no idea about. Like, I guess what I'm saying is before you go up to somebody and pitch advice, you should say, how does this look coming from me? Oh, wait. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. I clearly don't. I should probably not pitch this idea or this advice to them.
Learn your social cues.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be like me trying to sell you hair care products and I'm wearing a wig. So
Yeah, hair care is probably not the thing that you should be talking about from the wig part, because you've got more hair than most people.
Egg does wonders for it. So if you try it out.
I heard egg is good for your skin. So we'll see in the coming episodes if my skin clears up or gets like bright shimmery.
There you go.
So yeah, that's my general hot take. Don't force feed advice. And if at any point you feel like your advice is not being received well, maybe it's because they don't want your advice, especially if they've told you they don't want your advice.
It's not me, it's you.
Yeah, it's not.
Thanks anyway. And that's going to bring up something from a previous episode. In the end, know your role and shut your mouth. Right? That's a pretty good hot take. I like that. And that's fair. That's fair. We've all come across that, as you said. Me many times. When I was younger, when I learned not to keep my mouth shut, and I would just I'm trying to help somebody. So like say I've been there, and sometimes you just got to listen. And it's like, well, what my advice is sound.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not always necessary. So there's that too. So, alrighty. So that about wraps it up for today. Thank you so much for watching our show. I think we covered a lot of topics today. We established who the better man was, who the lesser man was, and I think it was excellent. So I think it all came together to form a perfect take.
Or a gentleman's take.
Yes, indeed. So until next time, let's go ahead and sit back, sip some bourbon,
smoke a stogie,
and appreciate the finer things in life. The Audience Take.
We want to hear from you.
Any suggestions or requests for future takes, challenges, comeuppance, or criticisms, please email us at AGentlemansTakePodcast@gmail.com.
Don't forget to check out our Twitter and Instagram pages for exclusive content.